FM. Michael Jimenez. Halftime.
Yes, sir! It's halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com. My name is Michael Jimenez, your host from 12 to 2. Hope everyone's having a happy Friday. It's a good Friday for me. My daughter's coming home from LSU, so I'm looking forward to that. My co-host today is James Pledger. What's going on, my man?
What's happening, Mike?
Dude.
Co-hosting and producing.
That's right. That's right. Now, here's the thing, man. You know, we're good friends, man. We're best of friends.
Mm-hmm.
We hang out here at the studio, at the station. We hang out at the Roo Pub. We watch games. But, man, we have taken our relationship to a whole new level. Whole new level. A level only rivaled by that of my wife.
Really?
Yes.
What'd I do?
Okay, because a guy named Mark, who's
I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
We have a listener named Mark, I believe, who stopped by from Firehouse Subs, dropped off 2 sandwiches, said he enjoyed the show, wanted to drop off some sandwiches. Loved it. I love free food. And thank you for listening, Mark. But we had 2 different sandwiches, right? You had the sub.
Yeah, I got a meatball
sub. And I had the hook and ladder.
It was my first Firehouse. Never had one.
Love Firehouse. I had the hook and ladder, which is the ham and bacon and lettuce and tomato and all that stuff. And I was looking at your sandwich and I thought to myself, I'd like to have some of that meatball sandwich. So we did what my wife and I do. We split our meals.
Okay.
I took half your sandwich. You took half of my sandwich. And yeah, man, I was thinking about it. I was looking at my plate. And I was like, this is only done between me and my wife. My wife and I do that all the time when we go to restaurants. You know, she orders some sort of grilled chicken plate and I order, a steak and we split it. And I thought to myself, did I just do that with pleasure? Are we now that couple? Are we that kind of couple now?
I mean, here's the thing. I am not as you've evidenced by the way that I just house food, I'm not a food sharer for the most part, unless I'm getting something out of it. So I was like, I've never had Firehouse. The sub doesn't look bad. It's got bacon on it. I love bacon. I'll try that one along with mine, see which one I like better. So I wasn't giving any food up in the process. I was just gaining a different type of food.
All right. Okay. You make me feel a little bit better, man, because that's something I do with my wife. And I was like, that I got to keep that sacred, right?
I mean, we're JD and Turk.
We are JD and Turk. Okay. That is a Scrubs reference, which, by the way, I'm finishing up season 8 on Hulu of Scrubs. Went back in time and watched the first 8 seasons. My wife is happy that there's only 9 because there's only one more. What's going on, man?
Well, we're having issues with Facebook with people listening via our YouTube and streaming online at sasportstar.com or 945 1250. And I had a friend just text me and ask me if I just became a work wife.
You know what? That's a conversation that we have to have for a future day. Is it okay to have a work wife? Is it okay to have a work husband? Because
how I understand it, yes, because everywhere I've gone, Minix has had a work wife. I used to work with him in New Braunfels at a station there when I was an intern. He had a work wife there. He's had a couple of different ones here throughout the years. So work wives, that's a term I am actually familiar with.
Yeah, we'll go more in depth into that, man, because we'll deep dive on that one.
There's further depth.
Oh, there is further. We need to have like Quentin Hudson for this one, so he can get even more trouble. Because I don't know, Mister. Married men can be wingmen. That guy needs to be part of this conversation, so we can get him in trouble with Caroline again. Welcome to halftime. We go from 12 to 2. Pledger just let me know that we're having problems with Facebook. That's bad, but you can go to YouTube.
I'm getting the YouTube link to our Facebook and Twitter pages as we speak. So I'm trying to mass produce
make it happen.
YouTube feed.
Make it happen because we like listeners. We like people who come on in and leave a comment because we like to read them. It adds to the show. It most definitely adds to the show.
You know, we got giveaways.
I've heard that. What are we giving away?
We do. We've got tickets to go see Gary Clark Jr. February 2nd at the Tobin Center at the HEB Performance Hall. And as we've been doing all week here on Halftime, we've got more tickets to go see Iron Maiden next September at the Moody Center in Austin.
All right, let's call it $12.55 for the Gary Clark Jr. tickets and $125 for Iron Maiden. Again, $12.55 for the Gary Clark Jr. tickets, $125 for Iron Maiden. Big show. Obviously, we're going to be talking Spurs. They snapped their 2-game losing streak, beat up on the Denver Nuggets last night. Out of nowhere, Jeff Garcia from Ken's 5 and Locked On Spurs drops a bomb on Twitter saying that there's more Ben Simmons news involving the San Antonio Spurs. Really? We're going back to that. I'm not blaming Jeff. It's an interesting story, but apparently Ben Simmons wouldn't mind playing for the Spurs and has now said so. So that kind of advances the story a little bit. Hey, man, I spent the morning at Brennan High School.
Yeah.
John Wayne Service Company, who's a sponsor of the San Antonio Sports Star, named its high school football player of the year for the city of San Antonio, the San Antonio area. I had so much fun there. We will hear from the winner at 12:45. But welcome to Halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. You know, Pledge, last night I was laying in bed, hanging out with the missus, and I got to ask you something. Have you ever slept on a heating pad?
Slept on a heating pad? I've used a heating pad. I've never slept on a heating pad.
Okay, my wife is addicted to her heating pad. She forever sleeps on that thing. And it's so funny because, you know, she went out of town for a few days and I had my kidney stones. And, you know, you're supposed to apply heat. So I used her heating pad and I kind of made a joke of like, hey, you know, I wouldn't mind having one. But there was no way in the world I was going to go to Walmart and buy one or go to Walgreens and buy one.
Why not?
I don't know, man. I mean, is that a manly thing to do, to say that you need to have a heating pad?
Yes.
But you use yours for like injuries or for working out. I'm talking about to go night-night.
I mean, you just had an injury that you are still using a percussion gun on. I think that you could quantify the purchase as for injury.
Okay, what if it's not for injury? What if it's just to have a good night's sleep? Because my wife ended up buying me one, and she was so excited when she gave it to me. It was like a big presentation. It was like, whoa, you know, bringing it out of the bag. And she was like, here you go. And it was kind of like jokey. But man, now every time I lay down on a bed and I turn the heating pad on, I'm asleep in 10 minutes, man. It can be 8 o'clock at night, and I am out.
See, I don't subscribe to like, oh, a heating pad, it's not manly or whatever. I mean, I use a full-on maternity pillow to sleep, and I have like 15 other pillows on my bed.
Okay, well, maybe you're not the one I should be talking about. Maybe you're not the one I should be talking about this.
Up to this maternity pillow, I've got full-on like leg wrapped around, arms wrapped around on one side. Like this thing, I have gotten the greatest sleep in perpetuity ever since buying this body pillow, this maternity pillow that pregnant women use, because it was obvious. It was honestly the greatest purchase I ever made throughout all of COVID.
I probably should not be talking to you about this topic, okay? Because you and I have a strange relationship. You know, you're the JD to my Turk. We have a Scrubs relationship, right? We are, you know, we have a bromance, I guess is what is being said. Oh, is Facebook Live up?
Our YouTube Live's still up. I don't have Facebook.
Okay. Carlos Q says, I literally just finished watching all seasons of Scrubs. I refuse to watch season 9, though. Yeah, because that's when some of the characters, I think, drop off after season 7 and then leading into 8. So I'm not really looking forward to that, but I'm on season 8 right now. Here's the thing about this, man. I've already had my manhood called out on Twitter today because someone posted a photo of 4 apparently iconic Latino movies from the 80s and 90s. And you know me, I don't watch a lot of La Bamba being one of them. The other one being Stand and Deliver.
Yep.
And then there was American Me, I think was the other one. And there was a 4th one out there. And I just commented, I was like, hey, you know, I've seen 2 of these 4 movies and I really like them. You know, I really love La Bamba is one of my favorite movies. It's a great movie. But oh my God, people just attacked me on Twitter saying, Are you really from Holmes High School? Are you really from San Antonio?
I mean, I thought that was called into question when you went to Taco Bell.
Dude, we're allowed that one time a year, okay?
Your cheesy gordita crunch or whatever you
I
got.
know. Hey, you just reminded me. I got shredded cheese on the fridge for a snack in between.
You do.
In the 1 o'clock hour.
You left your baggie of cheese that you brought to the show yesterday morning because for some reason you will pay $500 to have Christmas lights put up for you and decorations at your house, but an extra 30 cents on a breakfast taco, you're out.
You know what? I'm going to post a photo of my house, and people will look at that house and go, yeah, I'm not climbing up that. That's like 26 feet up in the air. Dude, I am not coordinated enough to do that. And if my wife is on the bottom, knowing that I have $1.5 million of life insurance, right? I bet she's there going, fall.
She's kicking the ladder. What are you talking about?
No, there's a difference between an accident and homicide, okay? There's a big difference.
I mean, she accidentally tripped over the ladder. Fine.
No, so it's funny because I'm on Twitter saying, dude, I went to Holmes, right? I went to Saul Ross. And they're like, no, you didn't go to Holmes. You probably went to Business Careers, which is the magnet school over at Holmes High School. But Turek says, Pledge, looks like we need to get you a lady, man. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, maybe I'll find one in Houston this weekend.
Oh, I know you're going to be going to Houston, dude, but you're so shy around the ladies, man. Dude, come on. You're a single man, never been married, no kids. You work out, you have a good job. You're still shy.
I mean, I'm not shy.
Dude, come on, man. Or either that or you're just super picky.
Might be some of that. There's probably a lot of truth to that last statement.
I don't know, man. Because, like I said, I go to the Roo Pub with you. I've never been your wingman. And if my wife Selena is listening, I've never been that, and I never will be that.
What about that one day?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, the day that never happened. Okay, man, it's awful, man. But it's good times. I'm really excited. I mentioned earlier that my daughter is at the airport right now. She's at the Louis Armstrong Airport in New Orleans. I told her, I said, you're in Baton Rouge. You had to be shuttled to New Orleans. You're going the wrong way. That's going east. You need to be coming west. But she's over there, getting on her flight to San Antonio. I get to pick her up at the airport at 3:30. Super excited about that, but it's a good day, man. My daughter comes home for 5 weeks. She left as a freshman back in August. She comes back home already a sophomore. And at the end of...
I forget how incredibly smart and determined that your daughter is.
Oh,
sometimes.
I know.
Like, Gabby is incredibly smart.
Dude, she got 20 credit hours this semester. She got 20 credit hours. On top of that, at the end of this next semester, in May, she will still be 18 years old, and she'll already be a junior at LSU. And it's possible the end of the fall semester next year, she might be a senior if she decides to go to summer classes. So I'm pretty...
That's impressive.
I love my daughter, man. She does a really good job. I'm very, very impressed. Now, speaking about being impressed, kind of impressed by those San Antonio Spurs last night, taking out the Denver Nuggets, taking out the MVP, Nikola Jokic, 123-111. Interesting ball game. Spurs got Devin Vassell back. You and I were talking last night about how the Spurs need to really play, Thad Young out there. We need a big body out there. And I thought, Thad Young would be good for 15, 30 minutes maybe. He played for about 15, 30 seconds last night. It was so disrespectful. Why put him on the court for 45 seconds? I'll never get that, man.
Here's the thing. And we were with Jeff Garcia on Locked On Spurs. And that is the one thing that that is the most disappointing to me. And I said Thad Young, but I quantified it's the coaching staff. Like, I don't understand what they're doing or why they even traded for Thad Young.
Right. That's exactly it. Because I thought, okay, we didn't get Markkanen out of the deal, but at least we got Thad Young and a 2025 pick. And now it looks like we really just did this trade for DeMar for the 2025 pick and hope and pray that it ends up being a top 10 pick. That's basically it. So basically, long story short, we got nothing for DeMar unless that pick somehow becomes relevant.
Or if Thad Young gets traded at some point for something else.
And maybe that's why they held him out. I mean, maybe they don't want to get him hurt. I don't know what it is, but it was very disrespectful for him to be out there for 45 seconds. Pop, if you're not going to play him, don't play him. Don't have him sniff the court for 30 seconds and then pull him out. That's just wrong. That's absolutely wrong. But the Spurs got the win, snapped a 2-game losing streak. Again, the score 123-111. So if there was no Thad Young guarding Jokic, who did? Well, it was a combination of Jakob Poeltl and Keita Bates-Diop. Keita Bates-Diop got the start, played 31 minutes, 7 points, got 9 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. He played very well on the defensive end, but man, this game was all about Derek White, and it was all about DeJounte Murray and Lonnie Walker. Those three that has been part of the young core that we've been talking about for so long, combined for 64 points, paced by Derek White, 35 minutes, 9 of 14 shooting, 23 points again, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. And DeJounte Murray, as he always does, he either gets a triple-double or he flirts with a triple-double. Last night, 20 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. And then off the bench, Lonnie Walker, up and down, man. Lonnie Walker.
What he's been his entire career.
Yeah, but the highs are getting higher, though. That's the thing. It used to be a good game for Lonnie Walker was he'd come in and get 10, 12 points. He'd come in, maybe get 14. And yes, he has those bad games, but last night, 21 points on 7 of 12 shooting. This is the second time in 4 games that he's had more than 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
He's reminding me of, and dare I say, Patty Mills. I mean, remember Patty Mills back in the day?
Yep.
16, 18, 20 points, and then he'd go for 4 for 2 or 3 games, and then he'd light it up. And if the Spurs are going to be winning some games down the stretch, the Spurs are going to need to have somebody off the bench who's going to light it up for 15 or more points. And the Spurs yesterday outplayed that bench of the Nuggets by far. I believe it was like a 34-9 is what it looked like at the end of the first half. And, paced by Lonnie Walker, man. He did a really good job, and he's bringing it defensively.
I like what Lonnie brings to the table, but you have to basically treat Lonnie Walker a lot like you sound like Patty Mills. Like, you understand that the consistency is not going to be there with Lonnie Walker. Do I hope it shows up at some point? Absolutely. Do I expect it? I don't.
Yeah, I was talking to Jeff Garcia. We were on the Locked On Spurs podcast this morning, and I was telling him, the thing about Lonnie Walker is, as Spurs fans, we need to stop having expectations of him. I think the expectation was that he was going to be the starting shooting guard. He was going to come in, average 16 to 18 points a game, and he was just going to be that guy. And maybe he can be that guy with a different team because, again, this is the final year of his contract. He can possibly go someplace else. He might be that for another team. But when it comes to the Spurs, though, we don't know what to expect from him. So therefore, why have expectations of him? Maybe he is just a decent role player off the bench. But right now, the Spurs have a 9-15 record. Kind of interesting because they're 2 games away from being in the top 10 for that play-in tournament. They're also 2 games away, or a few games away, rather, from having the worst record in the West. So it's going to be interesting to see what direction the Spurs go in. I know. Goodness. The Houston Rockets, 7 in a row, man. They've won 7 games in a row, but the Spurs, again, 9-15. They've got 2 winnable games coming up. Denver Nuggets, again, kind of a quirky thing in the schedule. They play the Nuggets again tomorrow night at the AT&T. And then they have the New Orleans Pelicans.
Is it winnable because they just housed Denver?
Well, hopefully you get some home cooking there. Hopefully you get some, I guess you could say some beyond the home cooking. Just get some momentum going when it comes to this. But yesterday was an interesting game in the sense that it was ripe for the picking there because the Denver Nuggets had played the night before, and they had played an overtime game the night before, got in late, and it was one of those games where they may not have had any legs in them. So it's possible the Spurs just caught them on a good day. I was hoping for a split against the Nuggets. So right now it's with house money. New Orleans is not a very good team. The Spurs should be able to take them out. And then after that, the Spurs go on the road, man. So the Spurs need to pick up some wins if they're going to have any possibility of getting into the top 10 in the West.
Yeah, and can they be a top 10? Can they be a playing team? Sure.
Sure.
Do I want them to be? Not as currently constructed. If they end up trading Thad Young and adding a piece, yeah, I'm in. Because I do believe they're just one piece away. And we talked about what that piece was yesterday.
I wonder what the Spurs record would have been if Jakob had been there the entire season, but he was out with the COVID protocol. Spurs did not do well without him. They're kind of a 500 team with him. So, I mean, that might be the big difference maker for the Spurs team. We'll be talking more about the Spurs in the 1 o'clock hour. Some weird Ben Simmons news involving the Spurs. We'll talk about that at 1 o'clock or around 1:15. But let's get some headlines in. Here's Pleasure with the 411, the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
McConnell into Harper. Guarded by Morton. Drives it on it. Pivots. Fades. Big shot for Junior. Hunter to Stefanovic. Here he is, Williams. Patient. Going to work. Got it.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Timeouts. Harper for the
That was ESPN on the call as the Purdue Boilermakers, in their first game ever as the number 1 ranked team, abruptly fall to the Rutgers 70-68 behind that incredible shot by Harper.
I love games that have that call at the end.
Harper Jr.
Yeah, Harper Jr. He went off yesterday.
Son of Ron Harper.
Really? 10 for 15 last night, 10 rebounds for the Scarlet Knights.
I'm making things up.
Okay. But what I loved about that whole thing was just the call, because that guy nailed it. Whoever that announcer was, nailed it. Put that on a reel. That is your resume tape. He got both ends of it. What a great game. Sad to see Purdue go down like this, man. But come on, man. Are we really cheering for Purdue in the Final Four? No, give us Gonzaga, give us Duke, give us the Blue Bloods. That's what
here's the thing. Texas also lost just down the road, playing in Seton Hall. They're now 0-2 on the road this year, by the way, as they fell 64-60 to 23rd ranked Seton Hall. So the Longhorns, with their second loss of the season, the other one to number 1 ranked Gonzaga at the time, up in Spokane.
Respectable losses.
It's not a big deal, because remember, most of this team of Chris Beard's is a whole bunch of transfers coming into a whole new system.
Yeah.
I don't think Texas is going to be playing the same now as they will be later in the
March.
year.
Yeah. Just make the tournament.
Headline 1.
Pittsburgh's Kenny Pickett has instituted a rule change. That is right. The AAC in college football has come out and said that Kenny Pickett's fake slides shall no longer be a real thing.
That was complete cheating on that touchdown, man. So for those of y'all who didn't watch this play, it's a quarterback. And you know how the referees protect quarterbacks in both pro ball and in college football. And Pickett pretended like he was going to slide. He slowed down to like 1 mile an hour, stuck his leg out like he's going to slide, and then went psych and ran down the field past the defenders for a touchdown. And the defenders are there looking at it like, you're giving yourself up. And that's what the rules are now saying. You're giving yourself up.
And you knew it was going to happen. I was waiting for someone to do it, which only makes me love Kenny Pickett more as a draft pick, is using that awesome brain to exploit the rules to their advantage like any quarterback would do.
Very Belichick of him.
It's very much so. So I love me some Kenny Pickett. I liked him before this. I like him even more after this, because I was expecting this at some point. I expected someone to fake a slide because quarterbacks are so heavily protected. And now that has been taken away. But way to go. AAC title game. You picked the right time to institute it, Kenny Pickett. Bravo on you. Hopefully you're the first quarterback off the board.
Headline 0.
Finally, and a bit of sad news, former Denver Bronco, 4-time Pro Bowl wide receiver, and also, if you remember, former Houston Texan Demaryius Thomas has died at the age of 33. Passing, always speculated, but according to his sister who posted some stuff to social media yesterday, sounds like complications of a seizure that he had that caused his passing from
sad.
a car accident last year or the year before. But incredibly sad. Demaryius Thomas, I remember him coming out of Georgia Tech. He was very much going to be the next Calvin Johnson because he was coming out of that offense and became a dominant wide receiver in the NFL during his time with the Broncos. He was even playing extremely well for the Houston Texans that year because they had lost Will Fuller, made a trade to pick him up. But in week 16 of the season against the Philadelphia Eagles, ended up rupturing his Achilles and never came back.
Very sad news. Demaryius Thomas was a really, really good football player. And when you think of him, I go back to 2011, wild card game for the Denver Broncos against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Overtime, first play, 80-yard touchdown thrown by Tim Tebow. That one year where that Tebow magic was alive and well. Demaryius Thomas caught it, that slant pass. It was an 80-yard touchdown pass, but really he caught it and took about 70 yards to the house there. Tim Tebow on Twitter just posted, woke up and saw the really devastating news about my teammate and friend Demaryius Thomas. Mm-hmm. So many are going to remember him for his athletic ability, but I'll remember him for his kindness, his smile that would light up a room, and the love he had for those in his life. Rest in peace, Demaryius Thomas. A very, very sad story. He was a very, very good player, but he was only, 33 years old? So sad.
That's the 411 and a 210.
More proof that I'm getting old.
What?
One of my favorite movies is turning 20 years old, and I want to talk about this movie when we come back. This movie, here's a hint, had Clooney, had Pitt, had Julia Roberts, Andy Garcia. We're talking about that at 12:45. We'll also meet the San Antonio High School Football Player of the Year, an award given by John Wayne Service Company earlier this morning. You'll get to hear from him. And at 12:55, we're giving away tickets to Gary Clark Jr. This is Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, and on the go at sasportstar.com.
San Antonio Sports Star Pro Football Pick'em. Online at sasportstar.com. Can you pick the perfect matchups all season long? If so, you could win $50,000. Weekly winners score gift cards to Pinkerton's Barbecue and the Mellow Mushroom. For official contest rules and to play, visit sasportstar.com. Must be at least 21 years old to play this nationwide contest. One winner will be selected at the end of the season. The Pro Football Challenge from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
You need an accurate thermometer to check for fever, a potential sign of flu or COVID. Be vigilant and contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever. Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Exergen Temporal Scanners are available at Walmart and other fine retailers. Learn more at exergen.com. That's EXERGEN.com. Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now opening at noon 7 days a week at all 4 area locations. North Star, Nacogdoches, Medical Center, and the new St. Mary's location. Slackers is your home to 7 days a week happy hour, now starting at noon every day, showing all your favorite sports programming on wall-to-wall screens. Bring a date, bring a crew, or enjoy solo. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar with 4 locations to quench your thirst. Starting at noon every day. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info. That's slackersbarssa.com.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug. It's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Confession. I just started my holiday shopping. Luckily, Kohl's was here to help save the day. I got 15% off toys for my kids, 30% off a Ninja air fryer for my sister, and 40% off jammies for your families for my family. You can even get 15% off or 15, 20, or 30% off with a Kohl's card and earn Kohl's cash. So I guess you could say my holiday procrastination paid off. Select styles ends December 19th. Toys, coupons do not apply. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Hello, this is Discover, and we take customer service very seriously. We know that if you have a question or concern about your credit card, that's a serious matter, and you need to talk to a real person about it. So we offer around-the-clock access to seriously talented representatives in the USA. Again, it's a serious endeavor. The only funny thing about it is Bob. If you call us and Bob answers, you're in for a treat. Get 100% US-based customer service and talk to a real person day or night. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
This holiday season, head into Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest gifts from Titleist and Bushnell. Feel the difference with the Titleist T-Series irons. 4 models to give you maximum performance for any type of dedicated golfer. And don't miss these hot gifts from Bushnell, like the Tour V5 and the Tour V5 Shift with pin seeker technology, or the Wingman with Bluetooth and audible GPS for distance. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, or shop us online for the holidays at worldwidegolfshops.com.
It's about to get wild at San Antonio Zoo with the bigger and brighter Whataburger Zoo Lights, happening now through January 2nd. Fun for all ages. Come see the high-energy Lakeside Light Show. Walk through the brand new 124-foot tunnel of lights and see 2 LED trees that sing and dance. Experience a camel ride, and don't forget your photo with Santa. Purchase tickets today at sazoo.org.
Red 80! Broadcasting live from the 50-yard line. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Welcome back to halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com. Don't forget, we're giving away tickets to Gary Clark Jr. at 12:55. At 12:55 on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. Don't call right now. Again, we're giving those away at 12:45. 12:55. Sorry, 12:55.
And if you're looking for us on Facebook, temporary issue with Facebook, we are available via our YouTube, San Antonio Sports Star, SA Sports Star. Subscribe, follow us.
Very nice. Very nice. Welcome back to the show. You know, last night or yesterday afternoon, we were talking about Stone Temple Pilots. And I thought it was interesting because I brought it up as I consider them to be one of the 10 best rock bands of the 90s. And apparently half the people on Twitter universe agreed with me and half the people disagreed with me. And I was thinking about it. Sometimes we're stuck in time, man, as we get older, right? I'm 44 years old and I get a little bit stuck in time. They say music is the soundtrack of your life.
Okay.
And I find that I listen to a little bit of current music now, right? But it's not as much.
Water parks, man. Way to go.
Fem, water parks. You know, I listen to current music, but my heart belongs to 90s music. It belongs to STP and Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and Third Eye Blind and all of those. And I realized that like the time frame that I liked music the most is probably from 92 to about 99. But when it comes to movies, though, I really like movies from around 97 to about 2005. I have a lot of those movies in heavy rotation at home. Now, I do work as a financial advisor as well. You know, I sling those investments and insurances.
A little bit of slinging.
Yeah, and I work a lot from home when I do that. And I have a lot of movies on in the background that I tend to watch over and over and over again.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like Office Space, and I've got like Swingers and Fight Club, The Matrix,
Snatch.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Shawshank Redemption, Chasing Amy. You know, a lot of those types of movies, Varsity Blues. But one of the movies that I watch a lot or I at least have in the background a lot, turned 20 years old this week. And I was like, man, 20 years old. Ocean's 11, which was at the time, I look at it, I think to myself, man, that was a star-studded movie, but it could have been even starrier. Is that even a word?
Sure, why not? How so?
It stars George Clooney as Danny Ocean, but it also includes Brad Pitt, Bernie Mac, Casey Affleck, Scott Conn, Don Cheadle, who's amazing, Carl Reiner and Matt Damon, Andy Garcia, and of course, the beautiful Julia Roberts.
Okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, that's a pretty star-studded cast. And for those of you who haven't watched that movie, Danny Ocean gets out of prison, and what he wants to do is he wants to go off and rob 3 casinos. He wants to rob the Bellagio, the Mirage, and the MGM Grand because it's owned by the guy who is now dating his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend or whatnot, which is Julia Roberts' character.
Andy
Garcia. Yeah. So am I wrong? I mean, this is a rewatchable movie, right? This is the movie that you can watch over and over and over again. Or am I off base when it comes to this, Pledge?
I love this movie. If it's on TV, I will stop and watch it. If it is something passing by, I will stop. I don't actively seek it out very much anymore, but I will stop and watch it every time. It is one of those movies in the pantheon of 100% rewatchable movie.
I enjoy it because, first of all, the music inside of there is nice.
Love the music.
The music really gets it going. Brad Pitt is hysterical because in every scene he's eating. It's the funniest thing. He's eating a sandwich, eating an apple. Every scene. I wonder how many calories he had because it wasn't like one of those things where he took a bite and didn't swallow his food. He's eating throughout the entire movie. He was probably having like 6,000 calorie days on this set.
I mean, he's the same way. Robert Downey Jr. hides snacks on set.
Yeah.
So, have you seen the Avengers at least?
I have not. I know I disappoint you when it comes to movies. I've seen this one.
I know.
I've seen Ocean's 11.
But in terms of where I'm going with that and how he is in, Robert Downey Jr. is notorious for hiding snacks on set.
Yeah.
And one of the most famous lines in the first Avengers movie was the fact that they're talking about all the science. Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo, who played two of the brighter minds in the MCU, and David Banner and Tony Stark. And they're talking about all these gamma radiations and waves and setting spectrometers and stuff like that. And then he just turns to him and blueberry. And it's an improvised line because Robert Downey Jr. hides snacks on set and starts snacking during the middle of scenes, and it made the final cut.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this was him just sneaking snacks in. I mean, he's just wolfing down the entire. He's holding a sandwich.
No, I'm aware.
He's having something. Now, this movie again came out 20 years ago this week. It was the 5th highest grossing movie of the year, and it made $450 million.
Yes,
that's a lot of money for a movie. But they had to, right? Had all those stars in there. But I look at it this way, Pledger, and here's where you're going to make fun of me even more. I love this movie so much, I never saw the sequels. The same thing with The Matrix. Just love The Matrix, one of my favorite movies.
God,
it's in my 20 favorite movies of all time, The Matrix. Never saw the sequels.
Michael, why do you not like good things? Why do you hate nice things?
I mean, I saw the sequel to like Rocky and to like Karate Kid.
Exactly. Like the sequels in some instances are better than the original.
I hear that The Godfather is the only one, which by the way, I have seen The Godfather.
Did you not like Rocky 3, 4, 2?
I love Rocky 1, love Rocky 2. Rocky 3 was not so good. Rocky 4, iconic, but it was basically a workout video. Rocky 5, not so much. 6 was okay.
I stopped there.
Creed was really good. Creed was really good. I mean, I like most of the Rocky movies.
The problem is, especially stopping at The Matrix at one, The Matrix is meant to be a trilogy story. It is a story, and you're supposed to see how it unfolds over multiple films.
Yeah.
So you've basically only read the first chapter of the book and put it away.
So here's the star-studded cast we were talking about, okay? Because I love reading about who was supposed to be in the movie.
Scott Conn.
Well, Scott Conn was not supposed to be in it.
Not supposed to, but he was in the movie.
He was in the movie. So Scott Conn and Casey Affleck. And Casey Affleck has gone on and had a really good career. Scott Conn, tweeter from Varsity
Mhm.
Blues, gone on, and I think he does Hawaiian 5-0.
Mm-hmm. It's
Uh,
just Hawaii.
Hawaii 5-0. There you go. Hawaiian is probably the drink. It was supposed to be Luke Wilson and Owen Wilson for those two characters.
Really?
Yeah.
That would have been interesting because they were brothers that were constantly at each other's throats.
Yeah.
So that would have been interesting.
By the way, which is the one with the crooked nose? That's Owen, right?
Yes.
Okay. I saw a movie with him the other day called The Haunting, and it's an old movie with Liam Neeson.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it.
Is it me? But is Owen Wilson one of the worst actors in Hollywood right now? Like, it's almost like he's acting in a different movie than what everyone else is doing. He was in Armageddon, the most forgetful character in Armageddon. It's like, you're in a different movie, man. In The Haunting, he was in a different movie. Like, what is he? It just seems like he's not going along with the cast.
Him in
Wedding Crashes. Wedding Crashes is the only movie that he's been really, really good in. That was a great movie.
It's not true. He's also in
Royal Tenenbaums.
He's also in Royal Tenenbaums, and he was fantastic in that. And he's also most currently in the Loki series that streams on Disney Plus as part of the MCU. And he was absolutely phenomenal in that series.
Now, Matt Damon's character, he was the third person cast for this role. Matt Damon, can you believe that? Matt Damon was not the runner-up for this role. He was the third person in line to get this role. Originally was supposed to go to Mark Wahlberg.
I'm glad it was Matt Damon.
The runner-up, though, was Johnny Depp.
I'm glad it went to Matt Damon.
Matt Damon was really good because he's a nerdy guy. I can't picture Mark Wahlberg as being nerdy. You know, I can't picture Johnny Depp as being nerdy, but good times, man. 20 years old, man. 20 years old. Almost old enough to drink at those casinos that they tried to rob. Happy birthday to Ocean's 11. We've got more to come here on halftime. We go till 2 o'clock. Again, in about 10 minutes, we're giving away tickets to the Gary Clark Jr. concert. When we come back, we're going to hear from the high school football player of the year for the San Antonio area. I got to meet him this morning. Hear from him. He was a really, really nice young man. Very nice young man. And it's a really good story because his target, like his primary target at wide receiver, is very, very, very close to him. You'll find out why. And more Spurs news at 1 o'clock involving Ben Simmons. We're going through this again, but this time, Ben Simmons is the one doing the talking. This is halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com.
Cowboys, Washington, flinging the pigskin like it's nothing. Get the call live Sunday at noon. Sponsored by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The San Antonio Spurs defend home court and defeat the Denver Nuggets 123-111. Derek White led the Spurs with scoring with 23 points to go along with 6 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, and only 1 turnover. The Spurs are off today, but will play the Nuggets again at home tomorrow with a 7:30 tip-off. The Red Hot Rockets put their 7-game winning streak on the line tonight in Houston against Giannis Antetokounmpo and the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks. Tip-off is scheduled for 7 o'clock. And following a COVID outbreak, the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back 5 coaches and 4 players this week for a matchup against the Washington football team. Kickoff is scheduled for noon in D.C., a game that can be heard right here on AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
There's confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. One thing is certain. Whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer to check for fever, the leading sign of flu and COVID. Be vigilant and contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers that have no scientific studies. Only the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Hi, my name is Ted, and a little thing I love about the Chick-Fil-A Peppermint Chip Shake is when the Peppermint Shake is available, that's to me sort of announces that the holiday season is here. I guess most people count down the days until Christmas, but me, I count down the days until the shake comes out.
Hi, I'm Michaela, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Peppermint Chip Milkshake is that first sip when you taste the peppermint chip pieces, it's like catching snowflakes on your tongue.
Share a peppermint chip milkshake from Chick-fil-A this holiday. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip-hop, or house, country, techno, or techno country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Hey, San Antonio Sports Star listeners, this is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. Thanks to fans like you, you can now buy Kielbasa products just about everywhere. We hope you continue to enjoy our handcrafted, small batch smoked meats because we sure enjoy making them for you. So grab some today and let me know what you think. My number's on the back of every pack. Right by my promise that if it's not the best you've ever tasted, I'll give you your money back. Find Kielbasa at a store near you today.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Step up your lunch game at Twin Peaks. Light and hearty combos put together for you starting at just $7.99, featuring savory soups, crisp salads, and a variety of sandwiches to satisfy every craving. Enjoy your next lunch break at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
You can feel it in the air. It's bowl season. We're serving up all the biggest bowl games you can handle. Get all the action live on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Rudy J wishing you a Merry Christmas from all of us at San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The Dallas Cowboys look to win their second straight and take a stranglehold on the NFC East as they take on the Washington football team in D.C. Kickoff is noon, a game you can catch right here on Sunday after the Fantasy Gods. AA Best Bail Bonds brings you Dallas Cowboys football on San Antonio Sports Star every week, powered by Ewald Kubota. Welcome back to halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportsstar.com, not on Facebook today, but we are on YouTube, so you can search San Antonio Sports Star and like and subscribe over there as well, and you can comment there. It's been a really good day, man. I'm here with James Pledger. He's producing this show. And first and foremost, we want to say congratulations to Brennan High School quarterback Ashton Dubose. I got to meet him today. This morning, our sponsor, John Wayne Service Company, named Ashton its High School Football Player of the Year for the San Antonio area. The award was presented in front of his teammates, cheerleaders, and dance team, and I had the honor of being there. Ashton's a junior coming back for his senior season next year. He led the Brennan Bears to an undefeated season. The Bears went 13-1, so they were undefeated in district and regular season, but they lost in the fourth round of the playoffs. His stats, Ashton's stats, were incredible. More than 3,600 yards passing with 53 touchdowns and just one interception. He also rushed for 943 yards and scored 15 TDs on the ground. But this story was even more remarkable. Great story, because Ashton's number one target, his twin brother, Aaron, who caught a team record 16 touchdowns. Both want to play college ball, and Ashton has his eyes set on Nick Saban's Alabama Crimson Tide. I asked what it's like being a leader for a successful football team.
Just coming out every day, keeping my team going, just keeping them ready, and just like letting them know that we got this and we can go far. We got the potential, so we just have to just continue and just like be us and just don't try to do no other extra things just to get the job done.
You seem like a pretty quiet guy.
Yeah, I am. I don't talk a lot like that.
Okay, but like in the huddle, on the field, do you turn into somebody different, or are you still pretty quiet at all times?
I mean, yeah, I got to be a leader of my team. I'm the quarterback, so I have to keep everybody going and keep them ready to go.
Now you were shaking your head there. Is he
He's
pretty
not quiet on the field.
He's not quiet?
Nah, he's
okay,
not
so
quiet.
turn into a different person. So that's pretty cool. So you were mentioning Alabama as a school that you would like to target. What is it like right now? I mean, do you send them videos? Do they recruit you? Do you recruit them? How does that whole process work?
Well, I'm just sending them sending everybody my film, just like giving them like looks so they can see what I can do and hopefully give me an opportunity to fall off for them.
Yeah, you're like, hey, man, 53 touchdowns and 1 INT. What more do you want, right? But we've talked about earlier how it's a family affair with you guys. You know, you had the most touchdown receptions from your brother. Obviously, you guys have been playing football pretty much your whole lives together, right? Is it weird going into a senior season when it's possible that maybe you guys play college ball elsewhere away from each other? Have you all thought about that? Or not? We're not worried about that yet.
Hopefully, we get an opportunity to play together and ball out for another school with each other.
Very cool, man. Hey, congratulations again to both of you guys.
Thank you.
And congratulations to you as well.
Thank
you so much. That would be so cool to see them play college ball together. But John Wayne Service Company says Ashton DuBose deserves the award not only for his performance on the field, but also for his citizenship off the field. What a great morning pledge. It was so much fun being out there and getting to meet these twins. I mean, they're stars, man. They're absolute studs on the field.
It is, and I heard that he talk about lofty goals when you're talking about playing for Nick Saban's Alabama Crimson Tide.
Now, I know the Brennan Bears are good. I live in that area. My son graduated from Brennan last year. My daughter most likely will be going to Brennan. So I know that's a really good team. We go to these games, but when I was reading those stats, I had to take a double take to the point where I went to like 2 or 3 different websites. Are you serious? 53 touchdown passes and 1 interception. I mean, they were undefeated in the regular season, undefeated in district, went to the 4th round of the playoffs. I mean, they went pretty far, and they've got 1 more year to go. And Ashton is so quiet, man. When they gave him the award, it was one of those things where, you know, they asked for him to make a speech, and he just said, "Thank you." It was very Tim Duncan-esque, man. Very Tim Duncan.
No wonder you liked him so much.
and afterwards, I was kind of afraid to interview him because he seemed so quiet, and he took pictures with everybody. KSAT 12 was there doing a story on him, so I'm sure that there'll be a story on their website as well. But I got to meet him and his brother. His brother seemed to be extroverted. He seemed to be Ashton appeared to be introverted, and they're twins. And I was
apparently he's not.
Yeah. And yeah, they were saying once the game gets going, he gets fired up, and he was talking about how he has his hype music, and there's certain things that get him going. It turns him into a different person. But not only 53 touchdowns thrown, not only having 1 interception, but also running for almost 1,000 yards. The guy is a complete package. And it's not like Brennan's a small school, man. This is big boy football here.
Yeah, it's definitely big boy football.
Can you imagine being a college recruiting? You almost have to recruit both, right? Package deal, possibly.
Possibly. I don't know. But while they have eyes on Nick Saban in Alabama, I wouldn't be shocked if Jeff Traylor made a visit.
Oh.
Keep them home in front of their family.
Bringing the trophy with him, right?
Uh-huh.
And you know what's so funny is that when I met these players, I saw them and I saw their dad, and I was like, I know you guys. Not only because, you know, my son went to that school, but it was also the fact that they also played basketball for a while. They're not on the team anymore, But I used to referee the JV and freshman over at Brennan High School all the time. That was always on my rotation. And so I recognize those guys, man. But very nice family. The mother and father were so proud, man. Absolutely so proud. And thank you again to John Wayne Service Company for making this happen. And as they said, when they gave the award out, they said, you guys are only juniors. We might come back next year.
And I'll tell you this much, Michael, because I've done these Player of the Year award things for not just this station, but other stations. This is your kind of your first foray out having to do like station event thing like this. I really enjoy events like this, like National Signing Day events where I go and interview high school players as they're getting set to kind of continue their career. Like those events always hit real close to home for me in terms of being able to provide coverage for them, their family, the school itself. I always really took a lot of pride in doing that, especially early in my career. What was your kind of experience with this?
Well, the experience was fun because this was all given in front of the entire football team. So the football team it was inside the basketball gym, and you had everybody in the stands. You had the dance team did a routine, the cheerleaders did a routine, and then they made the trophy
so they
presentation.
made a whole pep rally out of the thing.
Basically, yes, but it was a pep rally solely for the football team. You know, there were no fans in there. You had to be a member of the team to be in the stands. But it was festive. It was really fun, and I'm proud of those guys. I mean, it's great to see these people succeed. And he was like, "Man, it's about my team, my teammates." And you mentioned UTSA. That would be incredible. That would be absolutely incredible. But this guy, man, I mean, I loved asking him the question about how does this process work as far as getting a college to see you, or you know. And he says, "I'm sending out videos." I mean, they're being proactive in this process, and that's so cool to do, man. But congratulations again to Ashton Dubose, and also his brother Aaron,
Now,
and to
is
the
it
father.
Dubose or Dubois? Did you ask?
No, it's Dubose. That's the way everyone was pronouncing it.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at how it was spelled, and I was like, "Are you sure it's not Dubois?"
You know what's so funny? You and I are like very similar. I actually asked that.
You did?
I did ask that. But again, go Brennan Bears, man. Again, that whole family seemed to be so proud, and I'm very, very. I was honored to be there. But we have another hour of halftime to go. Grab your phones. We're giving away tickets to Gary Clark Jr. right now. Looking for caller number 7. Kielbasa Bacon phone lines are open. 656 ESPN. Again, 656 ESPN. On the other side, we're talking Dallas Cowboys. Man, let's revisit this trash talk that Coach McCarthy's doing, guaranteeing a victory, and also Ben Simmons. Suddenly, there's news involving him wanting to play for Pop.
And do you want a great tease?
Yes.
Not only are we revisiting McCarthy's comments,
did he double down?
No, but we have a rebuttal.
Oh, this is halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com.
It's time to get your hoops on. The NBA season is off to a fast start. North, south, east, west. Step back for three. Bang, got it. The courts are firing with board busting and rim wrecking in your face balling. Deep three straight away. Oh, we got another one. And we got it all covered. Everything a fan like you wants, and then some.
Hammers a right hand dunk.
Get the latest on your game on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's about to get wild at San Antonio Zoo with the bigger and brighter Whataburger Zoo Lights happening now through January 2nd. Fun for all ages. Come see the high-energy Lakeside Light Show. Walk through the brand new 124-foot tunnel of lights and see 2 LED trees that sing and dance. Experience a camel ride and don't forget your photo with Santa. Purchase tickets today at sazoo.org.
Hi, my name is Ted, and a little thing I love about the Chick-Fil-A Peppermint Chip Shake is when the Peppermint Shake is available, that's to me sort of announces that the holiday season is here. I guess most people count down the days until Christmas, but me, I count down the days until the shake comes out.
Hi, I'm Michaela, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Peppermint Chip Milkshake is that first sip when you taste the peppermint chip pieces, it's like catching snowflakes on your tongue.
Share a peppermint chip milkshake from Chick-fil-A this holiday. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip hop, or house, country, techno, or techno country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Don't forget the photos this holiday season. The Camera Exchange on San Pedro has special holiday savings on Sony, Canon, and Nikons. You can even rent equipment for the holidays. The Camera Exchange in-store studio is free to everyone. Go to CameraX.com and book your Christmas photo shoots. The Camera Exchange is now open on Sundays for Christmas gifts or Christmas rentals. Get into the Camera Exchange. The Camera Exchange, 1 mile inside Loop 410 on San Pedro. Online at CameraX.com.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our 10 locations and check out the Kubota L2501 tractor package deal, which includes a 4-wheel drive tractor with a hydrostatic transmission, a front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. Check out our package deals at ewaldkubota.com.
Do you really want to go through another year with that awful joint pain? Don't do it. Resolve right now to get yourself moving again for 2022. Hey, it's James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star, and it's time to call QC Kinetics, non-surgical regenerative treatments for joint pain. We're talking lasting results using natural biologics. No surgery, no pain meds, no steroids, and no downtime. This is really exciting stuff. Regenerative restorative treatments that actually encourage your body to heal itself using highly concentrated natural biologics. Patients rave about it. For hip pain relief, knee pain relief, shoulder and back pain relief, don't let them keep giving you steroids, and don't let them tell you that surgery is your only option. Get a free second opinion at QC Kinetics. Do it now and imagine life in 2022 without pain. Locations in Hollywood Park and Westover Hills. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics now. 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar is now open at noon 7 days a week at all 4 area locations. Slackers is your home to 7 days a week happy hour. Now starting at noon every day, showing all your favorite sports programming on wall-to-wall screens. Visit slackersbarsa.com for more info.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Michael Jimenez. Halftime.
Woo! Welcome back. Hour number 2 of halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, on the go at sasportstar.com. Congratulations, Franklin Boteo. He won the Gary Clark Jr. tickets, giving away more tickets at 125 to Iron Maiden. Man, we have a lot of those tickets we've been giving away, and they've been popular.
They have been extremely. People sang for them.
Now, how many people sang before you got a winner? And how was that even judged?
It was 4 or 5, and it was me and Jason just basically judging it.
Very cool. Now,
wasn't great judging.
Dude, can you believe that today it's going to be like 80 degrees again, and then it's going to be 32 degrees in 48 hours?
Wait, what?
And then next week it's going to be in the 80s?
Whoa. What? And because you know I'm a horrible adult, so I don't plan for weather.
And I know you're going to Houston this weekend, but
Is
right
it gonna
now,
be bad there too?
Right now in San Antonio, it's 81 degrees.
Yeah, feels like it.
It's going to be 83 for a high. And then it's going to get down on Sunday to 32 degrees. And then all of next week, it's going to be close to 80.
What time on Sunday?
I'm sure it's early, but it's just one of those things, man. So you may want to take a sweater with you.
I am going to an ugly sweater pub crawl. So I'll have a sweater.
And you were talking to me earlier about how you don't like driving, or I don't like driving at night, but you prefer it.
Oh, I absolutely prefer it. It's my favorite thing. Like, I'm going to Houston after the Blitz today. I've got an ugly sweater pub crawl with one of my best friends from high school. I'm going to go hang out for the weekend, come back Sunday afternoon. And what I like to do is I like to leave after work in the evenings on Fridays, usually. Whether that's I get done at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, after high school football, sometimes 11:30. I prefer that drive over driving during the day. I don't know about you, but I am a late night driver because less traffic, easy, straight shot, don't have to worry about many things.
But driving from Houston's awful. I mean, it's not as bad as driving from, say, Corpus or Eagle Pass.
Have you tried doing it around noon? You want to talk about awful?
Man, so hearing that you're going to a pub crawl just makes me think of that that line from Hallelujah from Panic at the Disco. You know, a moment you'll never remember and a night you'll never forget. You
Exactly.
know, it'll be jumbled up like that. But a pub crawl, how many pubs we going to? Now, is it a pub run?
No, it's a crawl.
Have you done a pub run before?
I have not.
I used to do them. Do they
This
still
will be
do those?
my second pub crawl. I did a Marvel trivia pub crawl one year up in Colorado, and that was a lot of fun.
It's funny because we were talking to Rudy J the other day, and he says the difference between me and you is that I have an off switch, and there's a lot of truth to that. So back in the day, before I met my wife Selena, I was so much like James Pledger. I was always out and about, dude. If you played the wedding song that my wife picked for us for our wedding, a Climax Blues Band, Love You, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
That song is basically about a drunk guy who settles down.
Yeah.
So I used to do pub runs downtown. It would start.
Okay, explain the difference between a pub crawl and a pub run to me, because I've done pub crawls.
Pub crawl is basically
You just go from bar to bar.
Right. Yeah. So the last pub crawl I did was at Wrigleyville in Chicago, because they have all those bars right next to each other, and you just go to one, have a drink, go to the other one, have a drink, and you're literally going, 20 yards to get to the next place. A pub run is you do one or two drinks, and then you go for a jog, maybe half a mile to the next place, and by the end of the night, you would have done maybe 4 or 5 miles of actual jogging along the way. That's the big difference. So
Okay.
basically,
So you got to run a little? You
yeah.
gotta actually exercise?
Yeah, you're exercising.
While you're drinking?
And, I used to go to very festive ones. My wife and I went to one that was like,
Ugly sweater, hello.
oh, yeah, come on.
Tell me that's not festive.
Well, we went to like a 4th of July one. The last
Mister, I
one.
pay for my lights to be put up.
Yes, I do, man. I'm not going to crash 27 feet down. No, but my wife and I went to one that we ended up at the Bonham Exchange, just hanging out over there and partying at the end of the night.
Oh, nice.
And it was good times. We went around from like bar to bar. We went to Pat O'Brien's and went from different places. But there used to be ones back in the day that went from like Southtown all the way to like Esquire to like Pat O's to Sunset Station. And you're literally moving around. You're going.
That sounds like a fun crawl, run, whatever you did. Like,
Yeah.
that sounds incredibly fun when you're talking about bars in San Antonio that you'd like to visit.
Now, I wonder if the Pearl is too far away for some people, because that would stretch it out a little bit.
I would be down for that.
But between here and the Pearl, between like downtown and the Pearl, there are some breweries like along Broadway in that area that are really fun to go to. Yeah, good luck on your crawl. Uber is a friend.
My car never leaves my buddy's apartment. Like, once I get there, I park, I take my stuff up to his apartment, and we Uber the rest of the weekend.
All right, well, have safe travels, my man. I'm excited because I will be driving up to the San Antonio International Airport around 3:30 or so, picking up my daughter home from LSU. I told her, I said, hey, just let you know, dishes need to be done. I purposefully did not do the dishes last night.
That is horrible. You should be ashamed of yourself.
She says that she's retired from dishes because she's in college.
She doesn't live there anymore.
Where is she going to be the next 5 weeks? Where is she going to be for 3 months this summer? She's going to be home. Is she going to be paying rent? I paid a tuition check. I'm sorry.
I mean, she pays a good chunk of her tuition thanks to her being the bright young lady that she is. You and Rob compared tuition checks, and he wanted to like throw you off the air and out of the radio station.
Yeah, my first semester check for her was including dorms.
Like $500.
It was $900. It was $600 and something, and then this to start this semester was like $900
for an out-of-state college, by the way, which are usually the more expensive colleges to attend.
But I'm gonna have to pony up some money years 3 and 4. Okay,
Sure.
but she's still getting scholarships. But
I imagine she'll find something else to help out.
I'm doing the math. She might graduate college by 20. That's crazy. I was telling her, man, being 20 and getting a communications job. That's mass comm.
I wish
it's almost like she's like her dad.
That. I wish I would have done that, but I enjoyed my time in San Marcos.
Yeah.
There's a lot of a lot of nights spent on the square. I ended up getting a loft above the square.
I interned for 2.5 years at KSAT before getting my first media gig as an editor. So I was behind the scenes in the media for many, many years. And man, I worked with a very, very young Steve Spriester back in the day when he first joined, when he first moved to San Antonio. So back in the day, Steve Spriester just joined. I was there. There was a guy named Cordell Patrick who was a sportscaster. Greg Simmons was still there. David Sears was doing sports at the time. But all those KSAT people, that was my home for a good 4.5 years there. And then I got out of the media and 20 years later, end up doing this. Kind of interesting. Welcome back to Halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. As always, we're on the go at sasportstar.com. Cowboys in action Sunday at noon. You can hear it here on the San Antonio Sports Star after the Fantasy Gods. But man, the war of words injected into my veins. I am here for this because we heard what Mike McCarthy, Cowboys coach, had to say yesterday, and now we have a rebuttal. But first, let's go back in time. What did Mike McCarthy say yesterday?
We know what people think of us. We love that. We're comfortable who we are, where we are. But I'm excited about what's in front of us because, we're going to win this game. I'm confident in that, and just the prep that's going into it.
We're going to win this game.
Confident in that. He did not back down from that this morning on R&R.
I mean, it was like a soccer game. I believe that we're going to win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. That's what I heard. He didn't back off. So explain what McCarthy said today.
He basically just came on and said all I was doing was speaking the truth.
And as I mentioned, I believe that he's trying to fire up his own troops because that team has only played one good game in the last 6 or 7 weeks. So that being said,
I'm going to blame the post-COVID brain fog because this doesn't sound like something he would normally say to the media.
Now, the Empire strikes back. Here's the rebuttal from Coach Ron Rivera of the Washington football team.
Yeah, he joined NBC Washington and was asked specifically about McCarthy's comments.
Like McCarthy basically guaranteed a win, going out there and saying Dallas will get this victory. What is your response when you hear a head coach saying that?
I think it's interesting. I don't think it's important. I think that's the big mistake is because as far as I'm concerned, you do that for a couple of reasons. One is you want to get in our head. And so I've told our players, that's interesting. It's not important. What's important is our preparation, getting ready to play on Sunday. Secondly, he's trying to convince his team, So again, I think that's another mistake because he's now made it about him and what he said. It's not about his players anymore. So I think that's the big mistake. That's why, to me, you don't do those things. What you do is you focus in on, you get ready, and you play football. We show up on Sunday, and we'll see what happens.
The big mistake, 3 separate times. That's the big mistake.
Bulletin board material for both sides. Weird thing is, you're going to have the bulletin board in DC saying, I believe we're going to win. And then on Dallas's board, it's going to say, that's a big mistake. I want them to have like a poster for like a boxing fight where they kind of stand next to each other.
No. I see where you're going, but no. What you want is you want the high school football banners that they run through when they come out of the tunnel. One side saying, "I believe that we'll win this game. I believe that."
Yeah.
The other one saying, "That's a big mistake," as they bust through the banners when they come out of the tunnels.
Oh my God. Oh my God. The math behind this game is so weird. By the way, some of our listeners, Gabe Chacon, Alex Noriega, I've known them for many years, but they're listeners of this show. They have invited you, Pledge. Oh, but you're going to be out of town.
Invited me where?
They wanted you to go to Sideliners, which apparently is a Washington football team gathering.
Oh, nice.
And they're going to be watching the Cowboy game.
I know exactly where Sideliners is. That's where the volleyball courts are. It's over off of, I want to say, Thousand Oaks and Brook Hollow.
Oh, is that what used to be Fatso's back in the day?
I don't know.
Okay, so I was like, man, that's so close to the Rue Pub, but you're not going to be back on Sunday, right?
I will be back Sunday, but I am going to be at my buddy's Chiefs fans watch party that day, watching them beat the Raiders. And we'll have both of us, because we both enjoy the misery of the Dallas Cowboy fans when they lose, especially the overconfident ones. So we're going to be watching that game with a very close eye that morning.
Vegas has set the line at 4.5 points right now. Cowboys favored by 4.5 to go to DC. Again, it's going to be a cool day over there, but it's good football weather, man. Upper 40s, low 50s. It's good football
is their
weather.
weather going to be better than ours? You said it's going to be 32 down here on Sunday.
I know, crazy. You know, Denver hasn't had snowfall this year.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's insane. And, you know, considering the fact that last year we had 7 inches of snow at my house. The same.
I built a snowman and almost froze to death because we didn't have power.
Yeah, I did. Oh, that's right. This is where everyone hates me. I think I'm like the only house in San Antonio.
No, Minix did, but he was in like the Bahamas at the time or something. So not only did he miss the cold weather, but his house, which was unoccupied as I was freezing to death, had power.
I have a house that's near a volunteer fire department, the Bexar County Fire 2.
And that's why he didn't lose power, because he is also close to a fire department.
I don't know if it's volunteer. I think it's just a Bexar County Fire 2, I think is what they call it.
That's what I learned. If you're on the grid of hospitals and stuff, those houses didn't lose power.
Yeah. So that was me right there, man. and it was so bad. I mean, we had people coming over, so at least we did that. We had families stop by and spend the night and stuff like that.
Irresponsible as an adult as I am, I will now always know if I ever buy a house to look for one on the power grid of a hospital, because
and was the grid fixed? Probably not. Probably not.
Would you bet on it?
I wouldn't bet on it, man. If that same weather came on by, believe me, man, we're going to be huddling up with body heat trying to keep warm, man. But hey, Cowboys again against the Washington football team Sunday at noon. You can listen to here live on the San Antonio Sports Star. Cowboys favored by 4.5. A lot on the line, man. A lot on the line, because both teams control their own destiny. Even though the Cowboys are 2 games ahead, Washington football team can beat them potentially twice in 3 weeks.
They can.
And take the lead.
You say there's a lot on the line, but obviously there is more on the line for Washington than there is for Dallas. Dallas still, even if they lose this game, does control their own destiny. And they are in a good position to make the postseason regardless.
Right. That's a very good point. Dallas still controls their destiny, whether they win or lose. You're right. Washington football team loses that if they lose, and basically won't have any chance of winning the division at that point.
Exactly. Or backing into a wild card spot, especially with the Vikings winning last night.
Dude, there should be a rule that if you lose to the Lions, you cannot make the playoffs.
Wow.
Talking to you, Brandon Medina. I'm talking to you.
You are feisty with him. He goes down on Don Pedro's. He talks about your Taco Bell eating habits. He takes away your West Side card. You and him are having a little spat.
I know. Someone posted on Facebook earlier today that it's okay every once in a while to eat at Taco Bell. And I'm not saying that I want to eat there, but just sometimes nothing else is open, man. Sometimes that just is the case. Hey, man. Let's talk about the Spurs.
Big win last night.
Big win last night. Snapped a 2-game losing streak. When you beat the MVP, you beat the MVP. Yeah, they were tired. Yeah, they were coming off an overtime win the night before, and the Spurs were rested. But they play each other again in tomorrow And I'm not expecting the Spurs to win that game. I was hoping for a split. The Spurs got one. I think the Spurs will beat New Orleans. Okay. So I think all in all, it's going to be a decent weekend for the Spurs. But that being said, the interesting news about all this is that, remember over the summer, we were hearing stories about Ben Simmons potentially coming to the Spurs, but there was no really meat to it all. It was like all just made up scenarios. Like, what if we dangled DeJounte Murray and Keldon Johnson? And what if we did that and this, that, and the other? And what has happened over the year or over the season is that DeJounte Murray has blossomed into a better player than a lot of us thought what he was going to be.
Still want to dangle him?
Yeah, no, not anymore. I mean, 19 points a game, 8.5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, and 2 steals at his price point. I'll take that all day, every day. Now, do I think he's a better player than Ben Simmons? Spurs fans, cover your ears. No, Ben Simmons is a better player. But DeJounte Murray is really close to Ben Simmons. But that being said, Ben Simmons at $40+ million a year, no way. I'd rather have DeJounte at 17 or wherever he's at right now. But the news came out today on Ken's 5, Locked On Spurs. Friend of the show, Jeff Garcia, posted a story that talks about the fact that Ben Simmons did an interview where he talked about wanting to potentially play for Pop. And this was tweeted out by Mark Stein.
Okay.
And it basically goes on to say, so it says, according to NBA reporter Mark Stein, Simmons would welcome a chance to play for the Spurs head coach Greg Popovich. However, a move for Simmons would be costly for San Antonio. Sixers GM Daryl Morey is making it clear that he wants a huge return for the all-star point guard, which would probably be DeJounte and like a Keldon Vassell in picks. And at this point in the game, no.
I agree.
4 months ago, would have entertained the idea.
Didn't want him then either.
4 months ago, would have entertained it because we didn't know what was going to materialize.
No, that's fine. But I'm saying in terms of because there's one, he can say he wants to play for Greg Popovich all he wants. How many years is Greg Popovich still going to be here? And when Greg Popovich leaves, what's to say he stop him from doing what he's doing to Philly right now?
I see what you're saying. And do we know how long Pop's going to be coaching?
No.
That would be so good for this team to know what it's going to be, as opposed to this whole year-to-year thing. Well, maybe he gets the record this year, and now it's looking more and more like he's on track to do so. But I think it'd be good for the Spurs and Spurs fans to know what is the transition going to be, and when is it going to be? Because we thought that for many years with Borrego. We thought that for many years with Becky, with Budenholzer, with Bill Self potentially.
That's not off the table.
Yeah, so we've heard of all of these names before,
which is why I think, especially if it's Self, you can't really put a timeline on any of this, or at least a concrete one in public, because Bill Self still has to recruit for Kansas.
And it's not like Pop is going to leave the team, man. I mean, come on, Tony Parker's always around, Manu's always around, Tim's always around. You know, he will have some sort of emeritus status. I mean, R.C. Buford is not the GM anymore, but he'll
have a Zoom meeting thing that he'll be able to pop in on.
And it's so weird looking at the Spurs right now, because like they can go in two different directions. One direction is that they can miss the playoffs and be in the lottery and have a lottery pick. The other direction is they're only a couple of games away from being in the conversation for that 10 spot to have the play-in tournament, maybe only 4 games away from being an actual top 6 team, because the Lakers and Clippers are right around 500. Oh my God, I said I would shave my head. But what I just don't want, Pledge, I go back to this every time. I don't want the Spurs to go 41-41 and get bounced in the first round of the playoffs and then get the 13th or 14th pick in the draft. I just don't want that, man. I'm hitting the table therapy couch style, because I'm going to be sitting there going, told you so. Told you so. And now what are the Indiana Pacers doing? Because that's the life the Indiana Pacers have lived for so long. That treadmill of being the 14, 15, or 16 pick and getting nothing out of it. And the one time they had a stud player that was available right there, they traded him to the Spurs because his name was Kawhi Leonard. But yeah, I got a feeling I'm going to be sitting there on Twitter saying Spurs got bounced by Phoenix in the first round. We're drafting 17. Told you so.
Well, here's the thing, because I look at a team that has recently undergone a rebuild. The Houston Rockets tore it to the studs and are trying to build it up right now. They lost 15 in a row. They have since won 7 in a row. And people are like, oh, you beat the Magic and the Thunder and Pelicans. How hard is that? You've also beaten the Bulls, Hornets, and Nets in that span. The Bulls and Nets are 2 of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, and the Hornets are a playoff team in the East.
Yeah, it's funny how the NBA works because so much of it is predicated on health. So much of it is based on, are they coming off a back-to-back?
And they're doing this without Jalen Green, by the way.
That's right. But I mean, look at the Spurs yesterday. The Spurs played a team that was tired. I mean, they beat a decent Denver Nuggets team. Now, you might look at the Nuggets and think to yourself, well, their record's not that good. But Jokic was hurt for part of the season. And when he's in there, they have a winning record. And they've made their way to the playoffs, and they have a good team, and they have a lot of injuries. Murray, and they've got injuries with Porter and on all those different players that they have over there who are hurt. But that being said, we caught them on a night where they were tired. But you take a look at the Spurs team, though. It's kind of hard to make what's there because Spurs went off to Golden State on the road and won. Went out to Phoenix and went toe-to-toe and lost in the last minute or two. They went out to Milwaukee and beat the champs in Milwaukee.
Yep.
Is it possible that maybe the Spurs just play up to competition and play down to it?
That's one of the pitfalls of a young team a lot of the times.
Getting amped up, right? Getting amped up for the good teams.
And here's the thing. You talk about Ben Simmons and what it would take to get Ben Simmons. You would have to get rid of a lot of the pieces that are extremely good on this team.
Yeah. And
I don't want to do that, which is why I look over towards Indiana now that they are reportedly looking to fire sale their young talent. And I see one piece there that is Simmons-esque, but actually wants to and will play the 4.
Yeah, Simmons is a head case. I mean, if Simmons wasn't that guy, if he was just some guy that was no longer wanted there, but was overall a good guy. I mean, we've seen scouting reports from when he was at LSU that have stated
doesn't care about the game.
The guy doesn't care. He's a narcissist. It's all about him. It's everyone else's fault. If he wasn't that guy, then I would trade several pieces for him. But because he is that guy, and you are, your mid-20s, and you may have 3 all-star appearances behind on your belt there, but you don't change, man. People don't change who they are.
I mean, you do. It's hard to say you don't because you do. We've all evolved as people.
Yeah, but you don't evolve as a 180. That's the problem. That's the thing.
I mean, you do. I guarantee you are a 180-degree different person because you talk about how similar you are to me in a lot of ways. But ever since getting married, having children, you're a lot different from me than a lot of ways now. That's a 180-degree difference. People can change. People can evolve. It's
a
want
90-degree difference because I turn this way and I'm a little bit of this and I'm a little bit of that,
But to say people don't change, that's wholly false because I don't believe that at all. People can change. It's do you want to change?
Well, I mean, maybe I misspoke in the way that I put it. It's not that people don't change. People gotta have to want to change.
Exactly.
And admit fault. I mean, that's the thing about being wrong. You have to admit that you're wrong and then move forward. And I don't know if Ben Simmons has done that before. Like Tiger Woods changed, but did he ever admit fault and really was contrite? I mean, they sometimes do. Kobe Bryant had that issue. Serena Williams. There's a lot of players, Ben Roethlisberger, who've had issues in the past where some of it's personal, some of it's professional, but they have to want to change in order to actually change. But at this point in the game, Ben Simmons can want to play for Pop all he wants. I don't want him anymore.
I didn't want him in the first place. And there are certain people that agree with me. Rudolph Gonzalez, one of them, and he also says that he's a good regular season player that can't be trusted in the postseason. Batella Franklin, the winner of our Gary Clark Jr. tickets, by the way, says the T-Wolves have 5 first-round picks and still in the same situation. I mean, they look a lot better this year than they have in previous.
Yeah, but if I was asked this question about those 5 picks from the T-Wolves, If the Spurs had those 5 picks, would they have picked those 5 players? No.
Probably Towns and Ant, and that's it.
That's it, right? Because the other ones would have been different because the Spurs scout differently. So it's not the picks itself, it's what you're doing with those picks.
And do you not trust the Spurs with an extremely high lottery pick?
Exactly.
I do.
I know, because Spurs have had 5 lottery picks in their lifetime. They've had Duncan, Robinson, Elliott, Vassell, and Primo. I mean, wouldn't you consider that to be like an A+ grade for what the Spurs do in the lottery?
The book is still out on both Vassell and Primo, but we like what we
see so far. I mean, they're both ahead of schedule. But speaking of ahead of schedule, we're a couple minutes behind and giving away those tickets. So grab your phone. Kielbasa Bacon phone lines are open, 656 ESPN right now. Looking for caller number 5, giving away tickets to Iron Maiden, 656 ESPN. When we come back, we're doing One's Gotta Go Christmas movie edition. This is San Antonio Sports Star halftime.
You better not.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The Blitz, sports talk, and everything else.
We're going to talk NFL there, but we did.
Oh, what a shock. We were going to talk Texans and we didn't?
Did that happen again?
I am shocked.
Fletch had all this Houston Texan stuff. Instead, we talked about Jeff Traylor getting one up by the coach at Portland State. I think that wins.
It only wins if the student body gets free beer.
No, it's us not having to talk Texans is the win.
Jason Minix, weekday afternoons 4 to 7 on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Want to learn a new language so it will actually stick? Try Babbel. Practice real-life conversations in the Babbel app.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Get personalized help in Babbel's live online classes.
Classes are limited to 6 people, so everyone can get the help they need.
Review words and phrases with fun games, or dive into the culture with short videos. Whatever your learning style, Babbel gives you the tools you need. Babbel, more ways to learn. Now try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Here's an unexpected holiday surprise. A last-minute sale on all earrings at Diamonds Direct. This weekend, 25% off. That's right, all earrings. An incredible 25% off. Diamond studs, diamond hoops, colored gemstone earrings, designer earrings. All earrings included. Who wouldn't love a nice pair of diamond stud earrings for Christmas? Make it happen this weekend and save an unprecedented 25%. Best prices of 2021. Special financing available too. Friday through Sunday only, and only at Diamonds Direct, official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys, at the shops at La Cantera.
A great meal starts with great meat. Rob Thompson here for Tri-County Meat Market. They're locally owned and full service. Tri-County has carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, upper choice. Tri-County has everything you need for your grilling game, from beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, poppers, and more. Don't forget to stock up on their 5 for $25. Tri-County Meat Market on Huebner, on Ralph Fair. Head over, first responders, you get 10% off. That's Tri-County Meat Market.
With the holidays in full swing, join in the festivities at Lowe's Winterfest. Start by getting $20 off a Craftsman 20-volt max drill kit. Was $79, now $59. Or Blackstone Riddles with an everyday low price starting at $149. Make more holiday at Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility. Valid through 12/15 while supplies last. U.S. only.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip-hop, or house, country, techno, or techno-country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
There's a confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. But one thing is for sure, whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer. Contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever, the leading sign of COVID and the flu. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Be vigilant and don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They have no scientific studies behind them and can miss the fever that might mean COVID. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Jason Minix here for Garageization. You've heard me tell you about their shelving, overhead racks, and storage systems to make your garage functional for the entire family. If you have issues with your garage, call 210-664-4494. Have them come out and give you a free consultation. Garageization couldn't be a better choice. A veteran family-owned and operated business for more than a decade. Give them a call at 210-664-4494 or go to the website garageorganizationsanantonio.com.
It's about to get wild at San Antonio Zoo with the bigger and brighter Whataburger Zoo Lights happening now through January 2nd. Fun for all ages. Come see the high-energy Lakeside Light Show. Walk through the brand new 124-foot tunnel of lights and see 2 LED trees that sing and dance. Experience a camel ride and don't forget your photo with Santa. Purchase tickets today at sazoo.org.
Dear Santa, we tried to be good, but there were too many other options. Happy holidays, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Want a chance to win tickets to every Dallas Cowboys home game this season? Well, it's simple. Go to sasportstar.com and register to win. Win tickets to every home game on your home for the Dallas Cowboys, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Again, you can listen to the game Sunday at noon after the Fantasy Gods. And man, Pledge, again, looking forward to that game. Mike McCarthy guaranteeing victory. Ron Rivera saying, got a problem with that. Got a problem with that. So a lot of trash talk going in for that game, man. I'm really excited about that. But lots of comments on YouTube. We're not on Facebook today, but a lot of people talking about, the fact that they do not want Ben Simmons on the Spurs anymore. And I get that, man, because earlier we would entertain the idea. But right now, as it stands right now, DeJounte Murray has taken that leap. So yeah, not going to happen, man. I don't see that happening at any time at all. But welcome back to halftime. We go till 2:00. We're going to do a segment called One's Gotta Go. One's Gotta Go. Now, I've been criticized for my movie reviews over time, but one thing is certain. I've seen a lot of Christmas movies over my lifetime. So One's Gotta Go basically means that I'm going to name 4 things that are beloved, and we got to kick one of them out.
You better tread lightly here.
Now, recently we had one which was a rap version. We had like Tupac and Biggie, Eminem, and there was a 4th one in there. And we kicked out somebody, right? I can't remember who it was, but it was
Biggie. It was Jay-Z.
It was Biggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, and Eminem.
Yes.
Okay, I think we kicked out Jay-Z. If I'm not
kicked
mistaken.
out Biggie.
No, but the collectively the group did.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we put this on a poll, right? So people can reach out to us and vote on this. So we're on Twitter right now, and with this, I decided to do a Christmas movie version of this because, if you turn on the TV right now, there's a lot of Christmas movies out there. And I didn't realize how many there were, man. I go on to Netflix, I go on to Hulu and Amazon. There's like 60 or 70 movies out there that are Christmas related. I saw one the other day that was a sequel to Home Alone. It was like a new Home Alone movie called Home Sweet Home Alone. It was all right. It was on Disney Plus. So I have 4 movies. One's got to be kicked out. Scrooged. Okay. A Christmas Vacation.
Oh.
A Christmas Story. Elf. So again, Elf, A Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, Scrooged. Okay, so Scrooge.
Easy.
Being the Bill Murray classic. This was before Groundhog Day, so he kind of made that switch from being that Stripes, that smart-ass comedian into Ghostbusters, where he was a smart-ass guy, into him transitioning into a little bit more of a dramatic role that had a comedy flair to it. He had Scrooge, then he had other movies like Lost in Translation and stuff like that, which were a little bit funny, but more on the edge of being dramatic, right? Christmas Vacation. I mean, this is what, the 3rd installment? This was after the regular Vacation movie and European Vacation. This is Chevy Chase, where he was upset that he didn't get the bonus that he wanted. Cousin Eddie going up there and causing chaos. A Christmas Story. Red Ryder BB gun. Kid wanted a BB gun. Shoot Your Eye Out, Kid. And then we have Elf, which is a classic starring Will Ferrell and Zooey Deschanel.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you kicking out?
Christmas Story.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
I just never found it that great.
I mean, okay.
I never really enjoyed it like over the holidays. I love Home Alone. That's one of my favorites. Obviously, Die Hard's one of my favorite Christmas movies. Die Hard 2, I'd even put in there as one of my favorite Christmas movies. It never did it for me. I view Miracle on 54th Street greater than A Christmas Story.
They're not comparable, man. I mean, they're both Christmas movies, but they're not comparable.
Look, Christmas Vacation is an all-time classic. Chevy Chase is at his pinnacle of comedic acting.
You just like the fact that Chevy Chase puts up his own Christmas lights.
No.
That would have been me.
I love that.
That would have been me. I would have installed it all and not know how to turn it on.
But his department store scene where he's shopping, it's just so great. The movie itself is fantastic all the way through. Laughs everywhere.
Oh, you see the lace and it snaps at the top. I get that. No, it's funny because out of those 4 movies, I'm going to go ahead and say that A Christmas Story is the one that I would also kick out.
There you go.
But the weird thing about it is that I still like A Christmas Story. I'm not kicking it out because it's bad. It's because I like the other 3 better.
Yes.
A Christmas Story has the more iconic scenes. Out of all of these movies that I listed here, the most iconic scenes belong to that movie.
What?
Dude, You'll Shoot Your Eye Out, Kid, and he gets kicked in the face. The licking the pole and getting stuck on the eyes.
Too.
Yeah, a double dog dare you. I triple dog dare you. The oh fudge. That line. I mean, there's so much going on in that movie. It has the highest of highs. The problem is that it has a lot of lows along the way. You know, come on, man. Fragile, it must be Italian. You know, that the lamp that's the leg. Oh man, I'm talking myself into keeping this movie at this point.
All right, you can keep it. I'm not. You haven't sold me because I look at whether it's Christmas Vacation with the little hooter in here, hotter than normally. Like his interaction at that, you talk about the hanging up of the Christmas lights, the cutting down of the Christmas tree, the opening of the Christmas tree inside the house. You talk about
Grace died 30 years ago.
Exactly. Like that is an all-time classic. That's probably of the ones you've listed, number 1. When it comes to holiday classics, at least current ones, Elf is the pinnacle of recent holiday classics because most holiday classics are always older and outdated, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about movies from the 80s, movies from the 70s, movies from the 50s in certain cases, when you're talking about like It's a Wonderful Life and stuff like that. This is one of those rare ones that is a recent-ish movie within the last 20 years, when I say recent-ish. Mm-hmm. And Will Ferrell is just fantastic. You talk about some of the one-liners, Buddy Elf. I mean, it's its own cult following now. That's got to stay in.
I'm going to go help Buddy the Elf save Christmas next week or in 2 weeks.
You're going
the Christmas Spectacular in Dallas.
Yes, to the Grand Hyatt. What's it called?
The Gaylord Resort.
The Gaylord Texan. Just for a Buddy Elf Christmas.
Yep. I love that movie.
What was the other one I'm keeping in over it?
You're keeping
Scrooge. Oh yeah, Bill Murray, Scrooge, one of my favorites.
Which is funny because
it is a great take on an old story.
Right.
It was a great kind of. I know it came out in the late 80s, early 90s kind of thing, so it was revamped from what it was. But I love the take of Scrooged, especially with Bill Murray playing Ebenezer Scrooge. It was fantastic.
You know, so you take a look at that, those 4 movies, Scrooged, Christmas Vacation, A Christmas Story, and Elf. Those who responded on Twitter, 55% are kicking out Scrooged. And that disappoints me, man. It really disappoints me because Scrooge...
How many of those people have seen Scrooge?
That might be it. Scrooge is a great movie, man.
I'm just wondering, you should put a qualifier on your polls, like have to have seen these movies to eliminate.
Well, it's strange because you take a look at these movies here. they're all 4 of them are Christmas movies, but only one of them is about the spirit of Christmas, which is Scrooge. That's what that movie is. I mean, Christmas Vacation is about Clark W. Griswold being upset and his family coming to town. It's, you take a look at Elf, it's about an elf that, tries to save Christmas in New York. A Christmas Story is about a kid who wants to have a BB gun for Christmas. But Scrooged is about life and about changing your ways and being, loving the ones that are around you and having relationship with family and with friends and with coworkers and being a good person. And Bill Murray really did a good job. It's funny, it's dramatic, and that's where he did that pivot in his career, because that led to Groundhog Day, that led to Lost in Translation. It really jump-started his career all over again.
I obviously love that movie, but there are other great Christmas movies too that I feel like have been exalted from the, like, think of another recent one, recentish, as I like to put them, when it comes to holiday movies. Jingle All the Way was a great Christmas movie.
Yeah, that was pretty good. There was one with John Cena, wasn't there?
There was. I forgot what it was.
I'm pretty sure I watched that with my kids. Yeah, if it's a John Cena movie or The Rock, it gets played in the Jimenez household because my kids love them, love both of them. I am not the kind of guy who'll watch Hallmark movies. I can't do
absolutely
that.
not.
My wife can get stuck on a loop of hour after hour of Hallmark movies. If
My
I wanted,
mom will watch them year round. She'll watch it like it's Snatch.
like it's an old, like
just watch it for like 8 million times. Like, it already knows the outcome and everything. She's gonna watch that.
It is her Reservoir Dogs. It is.
Yeah, I mean, I look at her and I just roll my eyes sometimes because my mom just watches Hallmark Christmas movies that way, and I look at it and I'm like, why? And why is DJ Tanner in this?
I was watching the other day
why is Aunt Becky in this?
I was watching the other day
what is Winnie doing in this?
The Winnie Cooper. Oh my God, she is in a lot of those. Basically, if you were on TGIF in the 90s on ABC,
you're doing Hallmark Christmas movies.
Is Stacy Keenan, or who was that girl's name on Step by Step back in the day? I think it was Stacy Keenan. She was like she rounded out the
by step,
day by day. Wow. She rounded out the top 10 of my celebrity crush list in the 90s, man. That was good times, man. I'm gonna look her up during the break. I'm gonna find out what is she up to
like now.
She's probably like a realtor right now. What do you think she is? She's a realtor. She's a
Hallmark movies.
Hallmark movies. I don't think she acts anymore. I would have known.
Would you have?
We're gonna look this up.
Because there's a bunch of people I thought would still be acting that I didn't think were until I stumble across my mom watching a Hallmark movie.
When we come back, what is Stacey Keenan from the 90s sitcom Step by Step doing? We're going to find out. We're going to Google it for you. This is the San Antonio Sports Star halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Get your college game on. Get ready for the fight songs. It's college football.
Touchdown. What a catch.
Hear it live on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The San Antonio Spurs defend home court and defeat the Denver Nuggets 123-111. Derek White led the Spurs with scoring with 23 points to go, along with 6 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, and only 1 turnover. The Spurs are off today, but will play the Nuggets again at home tomorrow with a 7:30 tip-off. The Red Hot Rockets put their 7-game winning streak on the line tonight in Houston against Giannis Antetokounmpo and the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks. Tip-off is scheduled for 7 o'clock. And following a COVID outbreak, the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back 5 coaches and 4 players this week for a matchup against the Washington football team. Kickoff is scheduled for noon in D.C., a game that can be heard right here on AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
Alamo Cycleplex is located on I-10 just down from Days of Valor. And when I tell you this is the perfect place for Christmas shopping, that's exactly what I mean. Follow them on Facebook to keep up with all the cool events they put on throughout the year. The next big event is coming on December 18th. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., they're going to have an open house. And at this open house, it's going to be free food, free drinks. Santa will be there. They're doing a mechanic seminar at 11 a.m. Really cool event. Come and check it out. A couple of new things at Alamo Cycleplex. They're an official one-wheel dealer, which is a really cool electric board. And they're also an official Sea-Doo dealer. And now's your opportunity to get your Sea-Doo before that warm weather hits. Do this for me. Go to alamocycleplex.com. Look at all the cool toys for yourself. It's a family environment. Again, the Christmas open house, December 18th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Santa, food, drinks, mechanic seminar. Be there. And ultimately, they just sell fun. And who doesn't like fun? Go and check them out for yourself at alamocycleplex.com.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip-hop, or house, country, techno, or techno-country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
According to NHTSA, in 2019, more than 5,000 people were killed in crashes involving large trucks in the U.S. Semi-trucks, which weigh 20 to 30 times as much as passenger cars, can cause severe injuries in the event of a wreck. If you were injured in an 18-wheeler accident, call Thomas J. Henry. Thomas J. Henry handles serious trucking cases and gets serious results for injured clients. To learn more or start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
2 teams, 22 players, and over 100,000 screaming maniacs. Your home for Cowboys football on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Greeny on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Welcome back to Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. On the go at sasportstar.com. My name is Michael Jimenez. It's been a fun 2 hours with James Pledger. Got some breaking sports news coming in. It's a Woj bomb. A tweet says, quote, USA Basketball is finalizing a decision to name Steve Kerr as the next national coach with an assisting coaching staff that will include Monty Williams, Eric Spoelstra, and Mark Few. Sources tell ESPN a formal announcement is expected in the future, which means Steve Kerr is going to succeed Greg Popovich. A lot of names there with Spurs ties there, Pledger.
Future Spurs head coaches?
Well, I mean, Steve Kerr has a tie. Monty Williams has a tie. Eric Spoelstra has a tie to the Spurs. It's amazing what Pop's family tree is, man. His coaching tree.
It's fantastic. And I would love to add any of those coaches to succeed Greg Popovich, not just for Team USA, but for the Spurs themselves when he eventually decides to stop coaching.
I just want to know when it's going to be, man. Just tell me. Just say, I'm going to be coach for 2 more years. 3 more years.
As young as this team is, with the direction that it's headed, God, Jay Wright would be an amazing, amazing hire as head coach of the San Antonio Spurs.
We'll have a topic next week about potential Spurs coaches in the future, man. Let's rank them. Maybe put a poll out for that. And we were talking about the actress Stacey Keenan, who, as I mentioned, rounded out my top 10 of my celebrity crushes in the 90s.
Hallmark movies, right?
No.
What?
She is a deputy district attorney in California. She prosecutes felonies, including deaths, homicides, and stuff like that.
So she locked up Aunt Becky?
Nice. And I forgot about this. Stacey Keenan was also on the show called My Two Dads.
Yeah.
You know, some of those shows like My Two Dads and the movie 3 Men and a Baby, you know, it really got killed by the fact that DNA became a thing. You know, we can figure out who the dad is real fast these days. We don't have to like pretend that it could be this one or it could be the other one. But you were talking to me during the break about Elf, and you were saying that someone made a comment that Elf could have had a sequel but didn't.
Yeah, our friend Jonathan C. on our YouTube live feed, since that's really the only thing that's working today for us, at least currently, he says that he wants to kick Elf, and he says that with a hurt in his voice. Fun fact, Farrell turned down $26 million for the sequel.
Wow. And that says a lot, man, because sequels are not always good.
Not always.
Especially comedies, man. Anchorman 2 is not as good as Anchorman 1.
No.
Right? The Hangover movies 2 and 3 were awful. 2 was okay. 3 was awful.
Although Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls, fantastic.
You know,
you've never seen the Ace Venturas.
I've seen Ace Ventura. I don't think I've seen the sequel.
The sequel's better.
Really?
Yes. The sequel is by far more quotable. It uses some of the same catchphrases.
Finkel, Einhorn, Finkel, Einhorn.
But man, yeah, you gotta watch that. I don't even know if I would like leave ET alone. Go watch Ace Ventura 2 When Nature Calls.
Very nice.
Like we can come back to ET later.
Real fast. Who you got? Cowboys, Washington football team.
Cowboys, small margin.
I got Washington football team by 7. This is halftime pledge. Have a safe trip to Houston. Everyone have a safe weekend. We'll be back on Monday. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250.
Didn't catch R&R in the morning? Here's what you missed.
There's really no reason to go to Atlanta.
I heard the places where you feel a lot of ones are fun.
Oh, yeah.
I heard those are amazing in Atlanta.
Thanks to Lou. You get some
Lou,
fried lemon pepper.
That's got to be the best wings ever when you leave the bubble to get going.
It's funny. They look like chicken, but they smell like peaches.
Move it on.
Rob Thompson, Rudy J. Weekday morning 7 to 10 on